the 7th of October, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Okay. Let's see how far we. Oh, yes. Okay, welcome everybody. Good morning, Phil. So let's tackle this Gemorrah again. Yeah, let's read this Gemorrah over again, and Bez Hashem will see it a second time. We'll get it. Okay, so let's see who'd like to read from the new section Boshas Hakom Ufia Mavayish Vamisvayish. Yeah, the place is on Pei Vav 86a, and it's right in the middle of the page, and it's got a caption between the two dots. It says Boshas Hakol Lefei Hamavayish Vamisvayish. Go
86A2.
Yeah.
Right-hand column.
All right, I have it. All right, the Gemara now begins a discussion of the fifth and final category of payment delineated in the Mishnah, humiliation. The Mishnah stated, Boshas, humiliation, Hakol, Rafi, Hama, Vayish, Hama, bias. It is all according to the status of humiliation and humiliated. The Gemara comments on the authorship of the Mishnah. Mani Masa Nisim. Who is a Tana of our Mishnah? Rabbi Meir, the Rabbi Yehuda. Not Rabbi Meir or not Rabbi Yehuda. Ella Rabbi Shimon he. Rather it is Rabbi Shimon Dosman, for it was taught in the Brisa, the Hulon, and regarding all of them, rich and poor people alike, Ro'in, O Son, Ti'i, Lu, Haim, Benay, Korin, She, Yahu, Minach, Seham. We view them as though they are aristocrats who lost their wealth. Shehaim, Beni, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, for they are the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, Jacob. Rabbi Meir, these are the words of Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says, I will go with the go to rule. The eminent person is paid according to his eminence. Kotran with fee, no, and the lowly person is paid according to his lowliness. Rabbi Shimon Omer, and Rabbi Shimon says, Shirin, with regard to rich people, Ro'in or Son, Ilu, Haim, Benay, Horin,
Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm gonna have to move my room. I'm gonna be able to hear better in a different room here. We've been working on making this this little park here outside the house. And the workers are oh, now you can hear me. Okay, so
Remember, Shimon says, Asrim, to got the rich people,
Hello?
Osam, the son, Eluhaim, B'nai, Korin, Sheyor, Do, Sihem, review them all as though they are freemen who lost their wealth. And Anim, keep the whole scene shed Bohan and regard poor people like the rest of them.
regard poor people as what? I didn't hear that.
Like the least among them.
The least among them.
Says,
Okay, that's a literal translation.
the footnote is, we view all people like the most downtrodden of the poor, who are the least prone to experience humiliation. Rashi. At this point, Rabbi Shimon argues with Rabbi Meir. Indeed, Rabbi Shimon is the most lenient of the three opinions. He distinguishes between rich and poor and deflates the payment for the rich and the poor.
Okay. Let's see. Do we have? So we have some Rashi over here. Maybe we could read the Rashi. Oh, we had trouble yesterday trying to figure out which Rashi is connected to which statement in the Gemorrah, but we'll try again. Okay. The first Rashi is Kulan. So the Kulan would seem to be the statement of the first statement, the first speaker in the Brisa. The Kulan, Roin Oson Ki'ilu. And Gemorrah says, Heim B'nei Chorim, Shahayu Yordu Minachsehem. But Rashi just says, the Kulan, Roin Oson Ki'ilu Yordu. Okay. Okay, so who read the dead reading yesterday of the Rashi? Trade-off?
I don't see where it is.
Kulan is it's the first word in the line, about 20 lines up from the bottom of Rashi.
Got it. Aniyim ve'ashirim. All of them reference to poor people and rich people. Ro'in osan. We look at them. Va'filu es ha'ashirim. Even the wealthy people. Ilu yardu hule. The ain shemin es ha'ino ha'ani the fee ani osav lihakal below es ha'oshir the fee ashru shaharei ain lidamai the shaso sof ella kulan she'ain bikach. So
Okay. Yeah.
we don't evaluate the poor in accordance with his poverty, be lenient, and we don't and not the rich in accordance with his wealth. That behold, there is not to value what's Bishaso?
His boshes. His
Oh,
boshes.
humiliation in the end, except all of them are equal.
Right. Okay, so this is the this is the first view that's mentioned in the Brisa that Rashi is telling us would appear to be the words of Rebbe Meir. Like Rebbe Meir concluded, Shekol Shehein all of them are Bnei Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Whenever we say that, we mean to equalize all Jews. That regardless of their financial standing, which would determine the level of their boshes, the ones that are poor, their boshes is least because they're already boasted out because of the fact that they're already trained in humility because of their poverty. But the rich people are not trained in anything of that sort. So generally, they are they take anything as a great affront to them, and they're very they feel very humiliated by someone who humiliates them. And so therefore there would be a great difference in the halacha if we would judge according to the person being an ani or the person being an usher, how much the boshes would be. But since we're saying that no, that all of them are Bnei Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, we're going to equalize the matter. And Rashi explains over here that we don't judge the ani according to his poverty, which that would be lenient on the assailants that attacked him with words. Nor do we recognize the usher as being someone whose humiliation is generally very, very great. Rashi says it's so great, it's ein l'davar sof. It's his humiliation knows no bounds. He's so humiliated when anyone treats him without the respect that he believes that he is due. and therefore the payment for Boshus would be very great. And so therefore, what do? Ella kulan shavim b'kach. Rather, says Rashi, according to Rabbi Meir, everyone is equal in this matter. Okay. Now, that was Rabbi Meir. And Rabbi Yehuda, what did Rabbi Yehuda say? Rashi doesn't say anything about what Rabbi Yehuda says. Rabbi Yehuda said, Hagodol lefi godlo, hakatan lefi katno. So Rabbi Yehuda seems to say that Lafia does we don't equalize people like Rabbi Meir says. We recognize their godless and their cottoness, and so that'll come out that whoever is lesser, he has a lesser, he feels a lesser humiliation, and therefore the payment would be less. And the one who is more wealthy feels himself to be greater, so therefore the humiliation would be greater, and therefore the payment of Boshus would be greater. Okay, and then we go to Reb Shimon. And Reb Shimon says the same thing. He starts off saying the same thing as Rabbi Meir, that we view the Ashirim as though that they don't have any money anymore. But he adds kepechusin shebehen, vanim kepechusin shebehen, the least of the poor people. So what does that mean? Take a look at Rashi, pechusin shebehen. Phil, please. Oh, Phil's on mute.
That because of the noise. Okay, now I'm off mute. The least one of them held. Okay, the least of the poorest, like the poorest of the poor. Lahakel, to be lenient. The kaven the ani who bushoto kala, because for a poor person, his humiliation is less. Because he's poor, he expects humiliation. It's no big deal. It's less of a deal than to a rich person.
It seems to be saying that he's even he even feels less than an ani who is always an ani, because he makes a point of saying pechusin shebehen, the least of the anim. Like there's two, according to Reb Shimon, we do have two categories. We have anim, and then we have ashirim, but we're going to judge the ashirim as though they lost all their money. And if so they're going to feel even less than anim that never had any money to begin with. Bechusin shebehen, the least of the anim. Okay. Now we could go further in the Gemorrah. So now remember, what's the Gemorrah doing over here and bringing this brisa? So the Gemorrah is trying to identify who's the Tana of our Mishnah who says akol lefiyah mavayesh v'amisvayesh. And the Gemorrah said, it doesn't sound, the money must nisan. The Gemorrah asked, who's the Tana of our Mishnah? Lo Rebbe Meir, doesn't sound like Rebbe Meir. Lo Rebbe Yehuda, doesn't sound like Rebbe Yehuda either. I would have thought that it sounds like Rebbe Yehuda, but the Gemorrah doesn't say that. And it says, Ella Rebbe Shimon he. The Gemorrah said before that it sounds to us like our Mishnah goes according to the view of Rebbe Shimon. So now the Gemorrah is going to go into this further. Let's go further with the Gemorrah. Money. See where we are now? We're talking about money. It's the last word in the line, and then it goes to the next line, which has the word hashta in Bagrayim, in parentheses. And we have a Bach. The Bach says, hashta money. Now, who do we say the Mishnah goes according to? So you take out the word hashta that follows money, and you put the word hashta before the word money, according to the Bach. So we go according to the Bach.
86, 83, left-hand column, the second paragraph.
Okay. Yeah. So who'd like to read now? Who wants to read? Anybody volunteer? Everybody's read so far, but so anybody can volunteer if they want.
All right, if Alan doesn't want to read, I'll read. Hashtanami, Hashta money. Now, who is the Tana of our Mishnah? He, Rebbe Meir. If you say it's Rebbe Meir, Mas Nisin Takane Hakol Ha Viha Mis Bayesh. I'm sorry, Lefi Ha Me Vayesh Vaha Mis Bayesh. Our Mishnah taught it's all according to the status of the humiliator and the humiliated. The Rebbe Meir Kulahu be Hadade Ninahu. And according to Rabbi Meir, all of them together they are grouped together.
Right. Hadi adadi means is an expression for saying they're this one with that one, meaning they're together. Ninu, they are all of the people, regardless of their standing or status.
He Rebbe Yehuda, and if it's Rebbe Yehuda, Masnisin Chayev. Masnisin Ketane Hamivayesh Es Hasuma Chayev. Our Mishnah teaches one who humiliates a blind man is liable. Apparently that's on 86b.
Okay, we haven't seen that yet.
Right. The Ilu Rabbi Yehuda Omer Suma Ein Lo Boshes. And Rabbi Yehuda says a blind man has no humiliation.
You see what the Gemorrah did over here?
Yeah, it referred ahead. It cheated.
I would have said that the Mishnah goes like Rabbi Yehuda, because he's the one that makes distinctions. He said a cotton lefi kotno, a gadlo fi gadlo. That sounds like the Mishnah. It goes according to the Mavayish and the Misvayesh, meaning that we look at we judge people according to their standing. But the Gemorrah picked up on something we didn't see yet, and a small detail about the din of a summa, and said, "Oh, it can't be like Rebbe Meir because Rebbe Meir doesn't agree. That can't be like Rebbe Yehuda because the Rebbe Yehuda says in regard to a summa that there is no boshes, but it's clear from our Mishnah, which is like the second part of the Mishnah on the next page. We have a Mishnah over there. I don't see it. Oh, 1 second. Where did we see that? Maybe that din is in the original Mishnah. The Gemorrah is just bringing it on the next page. So we should have remembered it.
Well, there is a Mishnah on 86b,
Yeah?
very top.
86. Oh, you're right. Okay, so we didn't see this. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we did not see that. Right. So the Gemorrah is assuming that the Tana of the Mishnah on Pei Vav Amid Beis is the same Tana, is expressing the same view as the Mishnah on Pei Gimel Amid Beis that says Kol Hafila Mavayish Mavisvayish. So it can't be Rebbe Yehuda because he doesn't agree with the din on Pei Vav Amid Beis, even though it would seem that he does agree with what the Tana said in the Mishnah on Pei Gimel Amid Beis. Okay.
My English on Pei Gimel Amid Beis says the Mishnah continues the discussion concerning the payment for humiliation.
Right, because if you would look in a Sefer Mishnayos, I guess Phil knows about this very well. That you'll find that the way the Mishnayos break up the Mishnah, they don't break them up, whereas the Gemorrah, which wants to discuss a lot of points, it doesn't. It just takes a certain part of the Mishnah, the first 5 lines, first 10 lines. It's a very long Mishnah. It'll split it up so as to allow for the discussion in the Gemorrah to not be so burdensome until you get to the next Mishnah, which is really the second part of the same Mishnah. Okay.
Right. So, Elalav Rabbi Shimon he. Rather, is it not Rabbi Shimon? That is the author of our Mishnah.
Now,
Afilu,
how does it work out to be like Rabbi Shimon? The Gemorrah says it depends on the Mavayish and the Misvayish.
Rabbi Shimon says it's different for rich and poor.
Oh, so he does agree to that, and
He's almost the same as Rabbi Yehuda.
He's similar to Rabbi Yehuda. And apparently he's not on record as saying anything against the Mishnah in the Amid Beis.
Yeah, I think the difference. I think the difference why they're saying it's not Rabbi Yehuda here is what the Mishnah said. Is the Mishnah says that it depends both on Mebayesh and the Hamipbayesh. It depends on both of them. It's not just one or the other. Now, if you're doing it to Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda is only making it based upon one, in terms of the blind person, the Summa. He's saying that the one who does it, the Mebayesh, the one who blinds him, that one, the one who makes the boshes of a blind man, he is chayiv. And the other case, but the blind man, the blind person, which the mitbayesh doesn't have any boshes. And according to the Mishnah, to calculate the boshes affects upon both of them. In this case, it wouldn't be affecting upon both of them. So that would not make it Reb Yehuda.
Well, this din of Mavayish Asuma, does it matter who the Mavayish is? Whether he's an Ashir or an Ani?
Rabbi Yehuda didn't use those terms at all. Rabbi Yehuda only used the terms of katan and gadol, who's more important and less important, not whether they have money or not.
Oh, I mean that you think that this it says katan does not mean in terms of his
Well,
financial standing?
Not necessarily.
So what would be the yeah, we don't have Rashi doesn't explain to us what does it mean katan and gadol. Yeah.
The English translates gadol as an eminent person and katan as a lowly person.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for Reb Shimon, it translates it as rich people versus poor people.
Yeah, I mean it does it is noteworthy that he doesn't Rabbi Yehuda use the words ani and ashir. It's true. But if that would be so then oh, I see. Uh-huh. And the Mishnah didn't mention anything about ashir and ani, it just mentioned that it goes according to the goes according to the two people, but we didn't say how do we measure the two people, but we see that there is some difference. People are not judged equally. Okay. So fine. So now the Gemorrah goes on to Afilu Tema Rabbi Yehuda.
Afilu Tema Rabbi Yehuda. Even you can even say it's Rabbi Yehuda. He Amar Rabbi Yehuda Suma Ein Lo Boshes, because when Rabbi Yehuda said a blind man has no humiliation, the Mishkal Mine, that's to take from him. Aval the Mes Va Lay, but to give to him Yahavinan Lay. We give to him.
Right. So what does that mean?
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would we take money from somebody because they were humiliated? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh, so we mean when we say the mishkomine, to take from him. Why would we take from him? Because he was mavayis someone, so he was a mazik. He did injury, so we would take from him. We would think that since he would think that since he caused injury, we're going to take from him. But what did it mean when Rabbi Yehuda said suma ein lo boshes? He meant to say not that he doesn't feel any boshes, but there's no din in regard to collecting, taking from him boshes when he embarrasses someone else. I don't know how a suma could embarrass somebody, but I guess he could. All he has to do is say words, so he could certainly say words, and so he could cause embarrassment. Aval, but we don't he's not for some reason he's not liable. The Mishkomine, to take from him, he's going to be putter for some reason. Don't know why. It's a bit not understandable why we would think to say, why the Gemara would think to say such a thing. Aval mitzvah le yavidin le, but to give to him, yavidin le, we would give to him. Why would we give him something if he felt humiliation? If he was humiliated, he will feel humiliation, and we will give him the payment of boshes. So according to that, if we learn this way in Rabbi Yehuda, so then does that contradict what it says in the Mishnah on the top of Pei Vav Amid Beis? What's it say? Hamavayish esasuma putter. Is that right? No. Sorry. It's chayiv. He's chayiv. Mavayish esa orim, mavayish esa suma, mavayish esa yoshen, chayiv. Someone who is walking around without any clothing for some reason, or someone who is not able to see, or someone who is sleeping, and you're mavayish the person, there is a payment of boshes to be made. So the way that the Gemorrah said, we could say that the Mishnah does go according to Rabbi Yehuda. That's all the Gemorrah is saying over here. Filu tema Rabbi Yehuda, because we're saying that Rabbi Yehuda is on record as saying that he's got no boshes. It means that he's not obligated to give the payment of boshes when he causes humiliation, but he would be awarded boshes if he got humiliated by somebody else. Okay, now we got some Rashi over here. Let's finish some Rashi. So the 4 minutes that we got left. There's a Rashi, Suma ein lo boshes.
Yeah, well, the Suma ein lo boshes, that he's saying that a blind person has no humiliation. Common bishma'atot. So this is later on. We're going to teach about why. We'll learn that.
Oh, so then the Gemara said, Ella Rabbi Shimon. The Gemara initially said that it goes like Rabbi Shimon, our Mishnah.
It says El Rabbi Shimon, the Ilonami here also. Love, it's not Kichadi Mashve Lay. Something about he alone is not compared.
The Ihu. Who's Ihu?
The
Ihu means he.
He also is not only compared to this.
The Ihu nami lav ki hadodi mashve luhu. He also, lav, does not ki hadodi together mashve equate luhu them. He also does not equate them, meaning he makes distinctions between people. So according to that, we could explain that the Mishnah would be Rabbi Shimon, because our Mishnah also makes distinctions between people. It says it goes according to the one who is mavayish and the one who gets the busha, who feels the busha. Okay. 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 You want to do the next Bahag Midaktani? Gemorrah is going to have something to say about what we just got through saying.
V'ha midikatani seifa. Let's see, but since from the it states in the end, Hame Vayesh Es Hayat Shane Chayav. It says that one who humiliates a sleeping person is liable. Vayashain she biyesh patur. But a sleeping person who humiliated another person is not liable. Lo katane suma she biyesh patur. And it did not say that a blind person who humiliated another person is liable. Miklal delo shna hachi velo shna hachi. The implication is that there is no difference one way or the other.
Right. The Gemorrah is pointing out on the something about the Mishnah on Pei Vav Amid Beis, which we haven't seen yet. And we don't have any time to see it right now because it's 12:30.
Hey,
So Bezrat Hashem, we will see it tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow. Well, on Yom Rishon, Bezrat Hashem.
tomorrow
Okay.
we're getting together at 10:30, correct?
Tomorrow is 10:30. Yes. Bezrat
Take care.
Hashem.
Be well. Shabbat shalom.
Okay. Shabbat shalom.
Phil.
All the best. Surus Toivos. Bezrat Hashem.
And good Chodesh.
And a Chodesh Tov, Levorach. Refuos and Yeshuos. And all good for everybody's family and everybody in Klal Yisrael. Bezrat Hashem.
Amen,
See you
amen,
tomorrow.
amen.
Man.
Okay, take care.
So Joan can't make it today.
Joan can't make it. Okay, so I'll pick you up at 5:04.
Okay.